very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Notebook Zero Hour online international inter-school debate powered by Stayfree and brought to you in partnership with Save the Children. This debate that started just a few days ago has now picked up steam. We can see more than 200 participants are already live with us. Thank you so much for joining. Today, as with the previous days, we are expecting some fantastic debating from the schools. Before we move on with the debate, it is my privilege to introduce to you the neutral adjudicator, Major General Neeraj Bali. General Bali, if we could have you on camera, please.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much, sir. Major General Bali is a founder of Leadscape Advisors, a consulting firm focused on disruption, organizational culture, and leadership. He is an Indian Army veteran who wore the uniform for 4 decades and superannuated in April 2016. During his career, he served in Jammu and Kashmir for 10 years and on all the borders multiple times. He commanded an anti-terrorist Rashtriya Rifles battalion in Jammu and Kashmir at the heights of terrorism. His battalion was considered one of the most successful anti-terrorist battalions in the entire valley that eliminated 45 militants. He was awarded the Sena Medal for Gallantry and the Chief of the Army's Commendation twice, both for service in Jammu and Kashmir. He also participated in anti-terrorist operations against Ulfa militants in Assam, and as a brigadier, he participated in the first Indo-US exercise at a strategic level and was appointed as a mentor on both the US and the Indian brigades. He has also served in Lesotho, Southern Africa, as security advisor to the government and as the leader of the Indian Army training team. As a Major General, he held the prestigious appointment of GOC Dakshin Maharashtra with a mandate to run all army establishments, logistics depots, ammunition depots, hospitals, and cantonments in 18 districts of the state. During his career, he taught in the Infantry School at Mao, the Defense Services Staff College at Wellington, and Army War College at Mao. It is indeed our privilege to have General Bali with us today. Sir, before we start, if you could share some words of encouragement to all the panelists we have.
Thank you very much. I have a few things to say, which I have been telling the other panelists as well in the last few days. Going by what I've seen, I'm really looking forward to this because the standards have been absolutely fabulous. All that I want to tell the competitors is that as somebody who's debated in National Defense Academy, Indian Military Academy, and so on, I do realize that there are there can be some hiccups. Who doesn't have hiccups? There can be a situation where you might forget an argument or something that you wanted to say, and at that point of time, it slips your mind. My strongest piece of advice is don't bother. Don't bother because nobody else knows what you were about to say. Don't become conscious of the fact that you didn't remember, because as far as the audience is concerned, you are still in full flow. So don't worry about that. There is pretty much very little else I want to tell you, except that the fact that you made it this far, being picked up by your schools, and very good schools at that, shows me that you are already winners in your own right. I'm not saying this to encourage you. I mean it. To rise to the highest levels anywhere is not simple, not easy. So you are already the best. And therefore, what you should do is keep this advice in mind, which is a good advice for debating and good advice for life. Just compete with yourself. Don't worry about who else is there in the debate, what they are. Of course, you listen to what they are saying because you have to rebut it, but don't worry about others. Compete with yourself. Be the better version of yourself today, and you will have a very good time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for those encouraging words. And with that, let us start with the debate today. Today's debate, as you know, is between the East-West Model School, Burdwan, and Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1, Roorkee. KV1 Roorkee team, if I could ask all the debaters to please switch on their cameras. Yashi, I can see you. Tawhida, we don't have you on camera yet. Yes, Tawhida, we can see you now. We should be seeing two more debaters. I think Shohili just connected. The coordinator from KV Roorkee, ma'am, we still don't have Vanshu. Excuse me. Shohili, if you could please switch on your camera. Yes, we can see you now. Thank you. I think we are still waiting for Vanshu to join. I hope he joins before his speaking turn comes. Anju ma'am, do you have access to the scoring sheet? Anju ma'am, you're on mute. If you could unmute, yes. You unmuted yourself. Ma'am, do you have access to the scoring sheet? I can see Shohili having a fight regarding the orientation of a screen. I'm sure that fight will get resolved very shortly. We are extremely proud to be powered by Stayfree. Stayfree as a brand does phenomenal amount of great work for women's hygiene, particularly for young women just entering their puberty. Here's a short public service message that they wanted us to share with all of you. I'll just play that for you.
मेरे पीरियड शुरू हो गए। पहली बार हो रहे हैं मुझे, तो काफी अजीब लग रहा है।
पीरियड्स में मुझे आसान काम भी मुश्किल लगता है, बहुत दर्द होता है।
मैं किसी के पास बैठ भी नहीं सकती और जब मैं उठती हूँ बार-बार निशान चेक करती हूँ।
घर में एक ही वॉशरूम है, पैड चेंज करने में मुझे शर्म आती है।
मुझे पैड को कचरे में छुपाना पड़ता है हर बार।
She may not understand what she's going through. She just needs to know. You do. Over 2 million girls will get their first period in lockdown. Your daughter or sister could be one of them. Talk to her. Tell her.
It's normal. It's just a period.
And with that heartwarming message, ladies and gentlemen, let us start the proceeding for today. This is the topic before us. The House believes games are killing sports. We have been asked to clarify exactly what kind of games we mean, and we have refused to clarify. We are looking forward to the interpretation from our debaters. This House believes games are killing sports. Vanshu is still not online. Anju ma'am, could you confirm that Vanshu is joining? Otherwise, I think your school would be at a disadvantage.
Vanshu is joining in few minutes.
All right, Yashi, thanks a lot. And Anju ma'am, do you have access to the scoring sheet? If you could confirm that, please. Shreyoshi ma'am, if I may check with you, do you have access to your scoring sheet?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello,
ma'am.
can you hear me? Yes, I do have access to the scoring sheet.
Thank you so much. Anju ma'am, we'll need a confirmation from you before we start the debate. So this match today is between East-West Model School and KV number 1 Roorkee. For the East-West Model School, Ms. Shridhar is the adjudicator. Tawhida is speaking for the motion while Shohili will be speaking against the motion. KV number 1 Roorkee, we have Miss Anju Singh as the adjudicator. Yashi is speaking for the motion, and Vanshu, who will join us shortly, will be speaking against the motion. Anju ma'am, can you just confirm you have access to the scoring sheet? Ma'am, we can't hear you. Shoaili, I think you have logged in from 2 devices, as has Ms. Shreya. If you could ask you to move to any one device, if it's your parents or somebody else who are using your link, I'm sure they have the separate attendee link that they can join with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anju ma'am, I can see you have raised your hand.
Shubhayu sir, this Reshi ma'am here.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, regarding this Wi-Fi issue which I spoke to you, that is why I'm on 2 devices, just
All
to
right.
avoid any technical
Understood. No problem. No problem.
Hello, sir. This is Vanshu Kamboj.
Hi, Vanshu. Thanks for joining.
Sir, can you see me?
Not yet. Let me just rename Vanshu's screen. Yes, Vanshu, can you just check once more? We still can't see Vanshu.
Sir, I don't know what is the problem arising.
All right. Now we can see you. We can hear you. Perfect. I made the mistake of renaming the wrong screen. Let me just quickly correct that. And with that, we are sorted. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm sure the fantastic debate would be totally worth it. So this is the order in which we would go. Tawhida, you are opening the debate. You are going first, speaking for the motion. After that, Vanshu is speaking against the motion, which is why we had to wait until she had a proper connectivity. Yashi, you are going third, speaking for the motion for KV1. And then Shohili, you'll close the debate, speaking against the motion. Once you're done with your initial rounds for 5 minutes, where you place your prepared arguments, we would then circle back for your rebuttal, which will be for 2 minutes. Please keep an eye on the Zoom chat, because that is when we will let you know the timing. For the initial statements, you will get a warning bell at 4 minutes, and then a final call at 5 minutes. For the rebuttal, you'll get a warning bell at 1 minute, and a final call at 2 minutes. Members of the audience, please hold on to your seats, because at the end, you get to pick the best speaker of the day, and the school with the best speaker of the day gets 25 extra points, which could make or break a debate. We had a debate yesterday where the 2 teams were perfectly tied, exact same scores. The audience poll is what made all the difference. With that, Tawhida, if you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Before we start, we would like to know you a little better. What are your hobbies? What do you enjoy doing? What are your favorite subjects?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tawhida Hussain, representing East West Model School today. I would describe myself as a person with a creative pole, and I love experimenting with rhymes and poetic words. And at the same time, I love making and listening to music. Then comes painting, and I've been into the sports world for several years as a basketball player. And even as a deputy head girl of my school, I have enjoyed my administrative works. So that's all. Thank you.
Wonderful, Tawhida. So to the deputy head girl, the basketball player, and the poet, if you're ready with your arguments, we will start your time now.
To win a game, you have to just remain in the game. Today's pacing life demands at least 2 solutions for every single question. So why our recreation has to be that slow, or why it has to be 8 to 9 hours of harsh, vigorous training, like shading each and every drop of our body sweat, squeezing the marrow out of our bones, melting each and every muscle, and then ending up with a severe injury, which will haunt us lifelong. Good afternoon, everyone. After putting forward some crucial questions, here I stand, Tawhida Hussain, representing East-West Model School of Standard 10. And today I'll be going firmly for the motion that is games are killing sports. The gaming industry today stands as one of the wealthiest industries, and an authentic source cites that there are 2.4 billion gamers across the world. Now the question arises, if people engage themselves with these useless activities, then how will they benefit the nation? Well, let me tell you that gaming earns a total of $261.4 billion, along with 1.8 million job opportunities, while in comparison, sports earns only $152.1 million. In e-games, you just have to need the smartphone, the app, and the internet. And that's all you can do to sit at the comfort of your couch and play the games. But sports presents a huge and massive financial bill, which includes a huge stadium, cost of training, right diet, and whatnot. Now, everybody can't be Sachin or Dhoni. Everybody can't be Messi or Ronaldo, but there can be hundreds of gamers across the world. And we all know about how Kaka's fame was subdued or oppressed by Ronaldo and Ozil after joining Real Madrid. This is the risk the sport or the sporting world provides a player with. Now, coming to the present scenario. When the world is concerning about the COVID-19 or the coronavirus, are we ready to risk our children to play a body contact sport? Are we ready to have a huge number of gathering of a spectator to give the virus wings to spread like a deadly fire amongst us? Don't you think we have to be at our respective house? And if we be at home, how would we engage the youth? Well, this is how e-games help. Next is nepotism. Rohan Gavaskar, Stuart Benny, and Mansoor Ali Khan and many more players are not even the shadow of what their fathers used to be. Still, in spite of that, they easily got into the national teams. Whereas there are thousands and millions of players trying to get an opportunity. They have participated in each and every competition with their bare feet and an empty stomach, hungry for the success. While e-games at the same time provides you the opportunity that if you have talent, you're gonna rock. So both the game and sports are shining in their respective genres. But the popularity e-games have picked up from the youth is totally a rage amongst today's youth. And youth has the power to drive society towards itself. Well, are you all overloaded with the stats and information that how gaming is ruling the world? Okay, let me just have a reality check. It is often said that, dear girls, if a guy pauses a video game just to text you back, marry him. I know that each and every one of you must be smiling at yourself because it is so relatable. Hence, in this age of the digital tsunami, in this age of the new regulation, in this age where youth and its passion for gaming has turned the world in and around, there is not an iota of doubt that yes, games are killing sports. Thank you. Over to the moderator.
Thank you, Tawhida. That was a very interesting definition of the topic. Some very clearly articulated views there. Let's see how the judges are scoring you. Judges, this is when you go to the scoring sheet and start entering the scores. I'm available to help in case you need any assistance in the scoring.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes ma'am.
Sir, can I score in chat box? Can I write in chat box?
Ma'am, if you can just tell me the scores, I can fill them in for you. Or you can also write in chat box.
Okay. Yeah. I will write in chat box. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. While
Hello?
deciding the debate topics, yes, ma'am.
Sir, it is out of 10.
Ma'am, there's a drop down button next to every box. So basically, the convincing effects of the argument you have to mark out of 50.
Okay. Out of 50.
Out of 50, you'll have to give a marks for the convincing effects of Tawhida's arguments. If you're completely convinced, you give her 50. If you believe that she made you believe the other way, you give her 5. That's the range. So, Ma'am, I have your scores. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, done.
Yes, sir, I have your scores. Tawhida, just give us a second while we get Anju ma'am's scores. Ma'am, this is the marks out of 50.
Okay.
And also you'll have to score her separately for her speech for another 45 points based on her manner and her language.
Okay.
This is out of 45?
Okay.
All
yes.
right. Tawhida, if you can see the screen, these are your scores after your first round of arguments. The 3 judges have scored you out of 95 for now. There are 5 marks yet to come for the rebuttal, which would be entered once you're done with your rebuttal. Thank you and well done. Vanshu, you are up next. Vanshu, before you start your debate, we would like to know you a little better. So tell us which class you're in, what are your favorite subjects, your hobbies, whatever you would want us to know about you. Vanshu, I think you're on mute. Vanshu, we can't hear you.
I'm audible now.
Perfect.
My name is Vanshu Kamboj. I am in class 12. My hobbies are dancing, singing, and talking. And I like to describe myself as a girl who likes adventures, challenges, and who likes to live a joyful life. Now, can I start my debate?
Wonderful, Vanshu. So if you're ready, your time starts now.
Hello, sir, your voice is lagging.
Vanshu, if you're ready, we will start your time now.
Yesterday, my 10-year-old cousin made a call to me as she was getting bored. So I asked her why are not you going out and playing any sport? She replied me, oh Dee, there is a new lawn being built for our sports ground and about the pandemic. It is the other big problem. Good afternoon, everyone. I will be speaking against the motion that games are killing sports. First, I want to thank our technology as the most striking beneficial advantage that games are striking beneficial advantage that is games. Computer games are indispensable of children's life that offers them amusement and aptitude. It improves their mind-body interaction, problem-solving skills, enhance memory and multitasking skills, as well as brain speed. Coming to the land of sports, we have big local setups in every city, but no lands allotted for sports. And there are big sport camps which are not affordable by everyone. What about the poor ones who wants to learn sports? In big cities, we cannot play football in parks where aunts are knitting and preschoolers are walking. In these situations, at least a computer game can teach us the rules and regulations and gives us an experience of these sports. We have gaming apps for all these sports where techniques and the way it is played is shown. Actually on the ground, what is the harm in practicing on screen? Games are not killing sports. Rather, games are increasing popular methods for earning money. In field of enjoyment as well as career options for youth that may be in designing these gaming apps or it may be in playing online games. Legion players can earn up to 15,000 per month apart from the money that they get from the prize. We all knew it that sports require a good physical health to play. But everyone in this world do not have a good physical health. That may be due to many reasons like inner weakness from birth. In these situations, many games becomes a subsequent for that person. In our today's life, we all are locked down in our homes due to pandemic and cannot go out to play sports. But we can play video and computer games with our family members safely at home. It also strengthens our family bondings. Now, if we see study for long hours are advised to take a rest of about 10 to 15 minutes for their relaxation. In this small time period, they may play game or listen music, etc., but cannot go out and play sports. We all knew it that there is no magic in this world, only games are there. At last, I want to say that games can be a complementary as they are not exactly sports, but they are not killing sports. They are saving sports. Thank you. Over to the moderator.
Thank you, Vanshu. That was short and sweet. I don't think you hit the 4 minutes mark. Great. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheet. Anju ma'am, I believe Meghna is talking to you. You can tell her and she can enter the scores for you if that's something that we can do. Vanshu, just give us a few minutes as we tabulate the scores. I can see the scores coming in, both Shreyoshi ma'am's and Neeraj sir's. Sir, may I take that score?
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Shreyoshi ma'am, is that your final score?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Anju ma'am, if you want, you can also put in your scores in the chat. Sorry about the technical snag there.
Subayu, Anju ma'am is having a little bit, the scoring sheet is not dropping down. The drop downs are not working. So if you want, we can put it across to you over WhatsApp, if that's all right.
Sure. I mean, if she can follow the same pattern of scoring, out of 50 for the convincing nature of the arguments, and out of 45 for the manner and language.
Okay, 35 out of 50, all right? And 35 out of 50. And what was the other one? Out of 45. Yeah, out of 45, how much will you give, ma'am? 40, okay.
Out of 45, 40. Previously. ঠিক আছে, নিউট্রাল ইভ্যালুয়েটর তো আছে।
I'm just checking with you once more. You have said 35 out of 50 for the content and 40 out of 45 for the manner and language.
Total 70. 45. 80.
Anju ma'am, do you have access to the chat? If you could please type it in, that would be a real big help. Thank you so much, ma'am. So Vanshu, if you are looking at your screen, these are your scores after your first round up on the screen now. This is how the three judges have scored you. Well done. Yashi, you're up next. You are speaking for the motion that games are killing sports. Would be interested in knowing a little bit more about you before you start the debate. Others, could you please mute yourselves?
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, Yashi, you're audible. I can see you. I can hear you. We would love to know a little bit more about you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Yashi Singh from Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 Roorkee. My hobbies are listening music and playing badminton because they relaxes my mind. And if you talk about my favorite subject, I love chemistry very much.
All right, Yashi, who loves chemistry. If you're ready with your arguments, your time starts now.
We cannot and will not ban the creation of digital games, but we can generate awareness so that their effects can be negative. When we look at the dark side, careful you must be for the dark side to look back. Good afternoon, everyone. Yashi this side from Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 Roorkee. I will be speaking for the motion that games are killing sports. Games are killing sports is a very important and advisable topic for today's world because our young generation spends most of their times in modern gadgets, and I strongly believe that time of teenagers and youngsters are the crucial ones because these few years decide their future. Now let's get back to our topic. Let's just start with thinking how much these games are important for us. As per my perception, I don't think digital games deserves this much popularity that they are getting. Nowadays, there is a vogue of playing games in mobile, laptop or PC. According to the research, almost 91% of children aged between 3 to 12 years play these games. Not only these children, even teenagers and adults are playing these games. By this, you can think how much these digital games are expanding. Well, I don't have any problem in its expansion if it is applied for children. But the thing is, that it only causes damaging effect on a child's mind rather than positive effect. Even these digital games do not give any kind of health benefits to the children. It only damages their health because these games are played in gadgets which if used much can cause health issues. On the other hand, we have sports. I don't think I need to explain sports. Sports is way much better than digital games. It gives you health benefits, freshen up your mind, and if you are playing in soil, it connects you to your soil. In other words, we can also say that physical work is the basic requirement of a body to make blood circulation regular to each and every part of our body. This is our primary requirement, but video games not do so. If we talk about the reason of expansion of digital games and reduction of sports, is basically that in sports we need teams or at least an opponent to play with. But in these digital games, we can participate all alone. It is coming from ancient times. Even our ancestors suggest us to play sports because they know the value of sports. The notion is that a healthy mind resides in a healthy body, and a healthy body comes from sports. Sports are very much effective in keeping you upbeat. It reveals your character and is the greatest physical poetry. But in today's world, due to the conveniency of digital games, the existence of sports is almost coming to an end. The most prominent reason behind reducing popularity of sports is these days people who play sports had become so much ambitious that they wanna win the match by hook or by crook. They can even perform foul play for this. These peoples are unable to understand that losing are a part of life which makes us strong. By sports, we talk about teamwork, competitiveness, dedication, emotional maturity, and many more. But now, these are just things to say because now people only have a desire to win. These are not the values that sports nurtures. This is what we are doing. We are shouting wigged without understanding. We are not getting things happening behind the scene. We are just blaming sports for all that. But the about drawbacks won't reduce the value of sports, but we have to work in this direction so that more and more people can play sports and get the young generation out of the evil gadgets, because today's youngsters are future of world. If they are able to understand the value of sports, then only they will give this knowledge to their younger ones in the future. Lastly, I want to highlight that truth can be disturbed, not defeated. In the same way, sports was, is, and will always be a better suggestion over games. Moving on to the moderator.
Thank you, Yashi. Interestingly, your video was frozen while you were speaking. We could see movement at the beginning and the end of your speech, but I'm sure the judges have heard your arguments. And it's very evident that you play a sport yourself, given the passion with which you spoke about it. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. Anju ma'am, I understand you're coordinating with Meghna to score on the chat box. Judges, if you could please put in your scores.
यहाँ के बोलती ना वहाँ के बोलती यहीं खड़ी होकर तो बोलती तो आजा यहाँ से बोलती.
To all the debaters, if you're not speaking right now, if you could please put yourselves on mute.
These are my scores.
Thank you so much, sir. I can see that Meghna is filling in her scores. Sriyoshi ma'am, yeah, you're filling those scores in. We are still missing one score at the top of the column. If you could please fill that in
So those are the final scores from Anjuman.
Thank you so much, Meghna. So Yashi, if you can see your screen now, these are your scores out of 95 after the first round of your arguments. Well done. And with that, we'll move on to Shohili. Shohili, you're speaking against the motion. We've had a very interesting debate from your schoolmate who went for the motion and took a very interesting stand, which is technically speaking for the motion that games are killing sports, but had a very interesting moral take on it. We are looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Before we start the debate, if you can know a little bit more about you.
Am I audible?
Yes, Shirley, we can hear you.
I'm Shirley Mukherjee from East West Model School from class 10. I enjoy the very finer things in life. I have a lot of friends. I live in Wonderland, hunting are few of my closest. I enjoy a good song. You'll always find me painting the sky in a particular blue. Thank you.
Wonderful. Shoili, if you're ready with your arguments, we will start your time now.
The spirit, the will to win, the will to excel are the things that are much more ensured. These are the things that are much more necessary than the event that offers. The sport has a broad significance. For the professionals, it's their livelihood. For those who understand each and every detail of sport, it's a passion. And for us, the vices who are quite unsure of the difference between a cover drive and a square cut is an emotion. In this competitive world where people don't mind taking an apathetic stance towards their fellow beings, sports inculcate within us the values of collaboration, cooperation, and empathy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shirley Mukherjee, and today I'm here standing strictly against the motion that games are killing sports. Killing is a negative word. I do not believe that games have the power to overtake sports when it comes to passion and emotions which are associated with sports. A gamer can never get a farewell like Sachin Tendulkar, a farewell where every one of us has a tear on their eyes. When their favorite team loses a match or when their favorite sportsman retires, we have seen people howling, crying, and their hearts are ripping off in pain. Sports is not only for those who go out on the street, in the ground. It's for thousands in the galleries and millions across the world who see it through TV screens and hear through radios. It's not about a match, it's about the stories behind a great team, behind a great sportsman that motivate us. When a simple middle-class boy of Ranchi hit the winning six in the World Cup finals, everyone who has thought that their dreams are impossible to achieve told a different story. It is often said that sports is expensive, and a very good argument has been put up in favor of games, which says that being a gamer is easy, and the requirements you need are very little. But is it so? A good gamer requires gaming console, a good internet connection, a wonderful smartphone, good devices like earphone, headphone, and whatnot. In a country like India, can anyone claim that everyone from different economic backgrounds can afford this? But sports as an example, where people from different backgrounds have become world icons. Games are fun. It gives you temporary way out from your daily busy schedule. It gives you a sense of freedom. It gives you the chances of doing impossible things. But can it ever give you the titles like magician of football, prince of football, captain cool, run machine, greatest of all time, and whatnot? Games give us a sense of unity, a sense of oneness. States of India are known for their funny banter, but when India plays for the World Cup, every Indian has only one prayer: their country's victory. Games are fun, but sports is and always will be a religion. Games can never take the place of sports, so forget about killing it. Thank you. Over to the moderator.
Thank you, Shoili. I think between you and your teammate, you have a very, very interesting interpretation of the topic. I am very interested in knowing how the judges are going to score both of you. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. Meghna, I know you're helping Anju ma'am out. So let's see how the scoring goes. Bali sir, I have your scores.
Hi Subayu, these are my scores for Anju ma'am.
Thank you, Meghna. Suyoshi ma'am, should I take them as your final scores?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Shoaili, if you're looking at your screen, these are your scores out of 95 up on the screen now. I think some pretty high scores there.
Yes.
Very, very well done. Yes, you can totally smile with glee. But it's not over yet. There is still a rebuttal round to be had. Right, so for the rebuttal, we will again go in the same order. We'll start with Tawhida. Tawhida, you are rebutting the points of the against bench, which is Vanshu and Shoaili.
Yes, sir.
You have 2 minutes for your rebuttal. And after the rebuttals, all 4 rebuttals are scored, we'll show the scores together. Right, so judges, please score for the rebuttal as the speakers are speaking. Tawhida, if you're ready, your time starts now.
So one of my worthy opponents mentioned that sports is the only way to be fit. But what do you think about those people working 9 to 5 hours and still they are fit? Oh, thanks to gym. So we all see that sports is not the only way to be fit. It is the mindset of that person. Other of my worthy opponent mentioned about the love, friendship, and whatnot about the teams formed during a sports or a game. So I would like to ask you that what about the incident that occurred when Harbhajan Singh slapped Srishant right in front of the public? Brotherhood is not less in the gaming world. As Pasha Bicep says, we are not friends, we are brothers, my friend. So we see that the popularity that gaming is gaining seriously is taking the world by storm. So yeah, it is indeed killing sports. Thank you. Over to the moderator.
Thank you, Tawhida. I think that was just a little over 1 minute, still well within time. Judges, you have put in your scores. Sir, I can see your score. Meghna, I'm still waiting for the score from you. Yoshi ma'am, I think you put in the score in the wrong column. If you can just check once. Tawhida is the first column on the left. All right. Yoshi ma'am, we have your score. Bali
Is it
sir,
in the right column?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Bali sir, we have your score. And Meghna, we have the score for Anju ma'am as well. Thank you so much. Vanshu, you are up next. Vanshu, if you can have you on camera. Can you please unmute yourself?
I'm audible?
Yes, loud and clear. So Vanshu, if you're ready with your rebuttal, your time will start now.
One of my worthy opponents says that sports teaches us in every situation, but according to me, in sports, sometimes a competitive nature arises between the players, due to which a feeling of inadequacy arises, and that also results sometimes in depression. There should always be a limit on games as well as sports, as we all knew it that anything which is unlimited will surely cause us harm. Now, this is the 21st century running, and the technology have given us a soaring hand. We all knew it that there are some gamified apps which helps us to maintain our physical health by by giving us step-by-step guidance. At last, I want to say that everything have two sides. One is positive side and one is negative side. Sometimes our fault-finding habits leads us to the negative side, due to which we underestimate the positivities. Thank you. Or to the moderator.
Well done, Vanshu. Wonderfully argued rebuttal. Judges, if you could please fill in the points. Shreyoshi ma'am, I have your score. Neeraj sir, I have your score as well. Meghna, is that the final score for Anju ma'am?
Yes, that is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. After Vanshu, it's now turn for Yashi. Yashi, if you're ready for your rebuttal, can you just...
Am I audible?
Yes, Yashi, you're audible.
And visible also?
And visible as well, yes. Thank you. Yeah. If you're ready with your rebuttal, your 2 minutes for rebuttal will start now.
My worthy opponent brings out a point that games can be played indoors, but it is not necessary. Even we can play sports also in corridors or roof in these hours of pandemic. The basic reason behind people opting for games is that they can be played alone. I agree that games provide us with amusement and aptitude, but we can not play them all the times. I even agree that there is a shortage of places to play, but there are many unused plots or fields which can be cleaned and used for the purpose. In the same way, everyone also can't even play games because they can't afford digital gadgets and things required in indoor games. I still strongly believe that nobody can take the place of sports. I strongly agree with this also, that my opponent that there should be a limit in games as well as sports. Lastly, I want to say that everyone have a different perspective, so we should respect others' opinion also. Moving on to the moderator.
Thank you, Yashi. Today, the rebuttals have been surprisingly disciplined with their timings. Judges, you have the access. Please start scoring. Yashi, that was wonderfully well done. Thank you.
For you have Anju ma'am's score with you?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Meghna.
Okay.
Sir, I have your score. Thank you. Shreyoshi ma'am, excuse me. Shreyoshi ma'am, I think that's your final score.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So, Shahili, it's your turn now. 2 minutes for the rebuttal. Remember, you are rebutting the points that have been made from the opponent bench and not just from the opponent school. Shahili, if you are ready, we will start your time for the rebuttal now.
Am I audible?
Yes, Shahili, you are. So your time will start now.
The best defense is a good offense. The online gaming is a black sheep in the glorious and valiant world of sports and games. My competent friends have furnished their speech with a lot of data and statistics. They have also brought the COVID-19 situation into the play. but it's just a humble reminder of what Mark Twain said. There are three kinds of life: life, done life, and statistics. So programming data are as useless as the exit poll. And as far as the COVID-19 situation is concerned, world's best virologists opine that people living in a sterile condition are most vulnerable to this disease. Gaming dwarfs itself before the grandeur of sports. Sports promotes hard work, discipline, unity through sportsmanship, whereas games promotes frivolity. Ask the soldier guarding your territory whether football makes him rock solid or free fire. Grab any passerby and ask whether he or she wants to be a MS Dhoni or a Mithali Raj or a Kari Minati. He or she probably never heard of the latter. With this, I rest my case.
Well done, Shoili. Some powerful examples there. And in case you want to ask a soldier how football makes them feel, you have Major General Bali right here. You can ask him yourself. Judges, you have access to the scoring sheets. Please start your scoring now. All the debaters have gone through their 5 minutes of initial arguments and their 2 minutes of rebuttal. Meghna, is that
I'm done, Subayu. Yes, that is. Thank you.
Now you all will have to give me a few minutes so that I can quickly tabulate all these big numbers, because all of you have scored fairly high. While this tabulation is in progress, it is time that I talk to you a little bit about Notebook. We at Notebook are an EdTech brand. We started about 2 years back with the vision that every child in India and abroad who are studying in the Indian school systems should have access to the best of learning content made available to them, and something that should make every teacher's and every student's life easier when it comes to studying. We saw how people were taking to YouTube, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and we said that maybe education also deserves something that's almost like Netflix. I have always grown up loving comic books, as have been my colleagues at Notebook. And so we decided to put together videos that look like comic book renditions of your topics, making them easier to remember, much more engaging, and in general, lending a creative spin to your classroom, right? What I will do now is show you a short clip from a Notebook video. This is from a class 11 history topic, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's class 11 history. And see if you enjoy this.
Hello students, welcome to Notebook. You might have heard of the concept of the great chain of being, originating in ancient Greece during the times of Plato, Aristotle, and Proclus. This concept, a part of medieval Christianity, decreed that all forms of life and matter belonged to a hierarchical structure or ladder. God was at the top of this hierarchy and minerals at the bottom. Leonardo da Vinci, the 15th century Italian genius, made the simple yet profound image of the Vitruvian man on basis of this concept. He also borrowed from the ideas of Roman architect and author Vitruvius from antiquity while sketching these superimposed figures of two men inside a circle and a square. The Vitruvian man, a triumph of science, art, and philosophy, conveyed that man was at the middle of the great chain of being and at the center of the universe. The image also expressed the Renaissance worldview of humanism, which placed human beings at the center of everything. It argued that humans could choose their individual destiny and had the power to bridge the gap between the terrestrial and celestial world. The Italians, whom the radical ideas of humanism originated, first wished to free themselves from the orthodoxies, rules, and severity imposed by the Catholic Church on human beings. They defended man's pursuit of power, material wealth, and the comforts of life against the Christian doctrine, which preached a life of austerity and discipline, renouncing all pleasures. These new radical views of humanism and individualism embraced the idea that a human personality was multifaceted and our lives are full of possibilities. They discarded previous feudal traditions according to which human beings belonged to three orders: the clergy, the nobles, and the peasants. The humanists thought that they were reviving old Roman and Greek traditions and restoring civilization by making spectacular advancements in the arts, sciences, culture, and philosophy. They were saving human civilization from the dogmas and the debilitating influence of the church in the dark Middle Ages. During these times, that is before the 15th century, especially between the 5th and the 9th centuries, human beings were taught to consider their earthly lives a punishment for their sins. They had to perform penance or hardships to get rid of their sins. This was, however, an oversimplification, and many of the ideas that the Italian humanists claimed to be modern, New Age, and radical in the 15th century had their roots in the past in the 12th and the 13th centuries. The intellectual movement of humanism started in 14th century Italy, reached its peak in this country in the 15th century, and from there it spread to the rest of Europe. The word humanist can be traced back to coinage of the term humanitas in ancient Rome to denote culture. Cicero was an ancient Roman lawyer and essayist.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will not keep you in any more suspense. This is how the scores are stacked up. Tawhida and Shoheli from the East-West Model School have 80 points and 93 points apiece. From KV1 Roorkee, Vanshu and Yashi have 61 and 63 points respectively after their 5 minutes of arguments and 2 minutes of rebuttal. However, all has not yet been decided, because this is where you, the audience, come into play. Everybody in the audience, we have 314 participants right now. I will now initiate a poll that you will receive on your screen. The poll will last for 1 minute. During this 1 minute, you will choose your favorite speaker of the day. And based on your polls, the school with the best speaker of the day gets 25 additional points, right? If you're looking at your screens, I will be starting the poll now. You have 1 minute that has started, and we are waiting for the votes to come in. About 35 seconds in, we have 250 plus people who have already voted. Still more votes are coming in, just about 20 seconds to go. The last few seconds of the poll. And the poll ends. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the results on your screen. Banshu with 1% of the votes, Yashi with 3%, Tawhida with 19% of the votes, and Shohili, I think the audience agree with the judges. With 210, that is 77% of the votes, you are the best speaker for today. Congratulations. You just earned your school 25 extra points. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll need a couple of seconds to tabulate the final scores. If you would please bear with me just for a moment. For the East-West Model School, we've had the two speakers getting 80 and 93 points as their averages respectively. From the Kendriya Vidyalaya 1 Roorkee, we've had two speakers getting 61 and 66 points respectively. That brings the Kendriya Vidyalaya 1 Roorkee's average score to 64 and East-West Model School score to 87, which we'll add the 25 points for having the best speaker of the day, which brings us to 112. On your screen, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see, these are the final score tallies for the two schools. East-West Model School, 80 and 93 are the speakers' averages, 25 points for the best speaker in the day, with 112 points over Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 from Roorkee's, 61 and 66 for the two speakers, averaging to 64. Both the schools, very, very well done. Before I invite Major General Bali for his closing statements, we are extremely proud to have partnered with Save the Children, which is a foundation that does a lot of fantastic work for children across India. This organization has been around for over 100 years, saving the childhoods of millions of children across the globe. Here is a short message from their CEO.
Save the Children was born in 1990. 100 years is not a milestone that many organizations or individuals can claim to have reached. And for us, it's been a tireless, relentless journey to ensure that every child has access to their rights. Every child has a voice. But when we look back at 100 years, because 100 is also a time to reflect, we wonder what it would be like to live in a world where children don't need to be saved. Perhaps we could live in a world where Save the Children does not need to exist. And so as we look at the future, we envision a world which is much kinder to its children. A world in which children no longer need to be protected from violence, where children are not needlessly dying before they turn 5, where every child is going to school, is learning, is playing, and is on that path towards fulfilling their full potential. As we turn 100, we pledge to work towards that future of a much kinder and brighter world for children. Every day, every hour, every minute, we will continue on that path. But we also know we can't do it alone. We want to work closely with the communities, with our partners, with the government, and most importantly, with the children themselves. They are going to be the change makers of tomorrow. Children like Onoyara, like Rahul, like Salman, like Mamta, they are the ones who are breaking gender stereotypes. They are challenging social norms, and they are changing the world and the lives of themselves and also children around them. We pledge to continue working with them, alongside them, to ensure that every child gets the right start. I'm Bidisha Pillai, and I invite you to join Save the Children in our commitment to ensure that every child gets the right start.
It's a matter of great pride for us that we have been able to partner with Save the Children. In fact, the winners of the 0-hour debate after the finals will get offered internships to work with the children at Save the Children. With that, ladies and gentlemen, and with those final scores, let me now invite Major General Bali back. Sir, for your closing statements It's been a very, very interesting debate to say the least. Would be wonderful to have your take on the topic as well as the speaker's arguments.
Thank you. If I was to choose one word, I would completely agree with you. It was most interesting. And I think the topic was complex. It was more complex than it sounded. And initially, I felt that it was so complicated that somebody seemed to be arguing against her own case. But probably looking at the hindsight, that wasn't the case. Maybe it is just a sequencing issue. Having said that, because the dice was a little loaded against one side of the argument, debaters had to use a lot of creativity. It was in full evidence when Tawhida started speaking right in the beginning, arguing for the gaming. But I would say this: if you want to persuade the other party, if you want to come across as a convincing salesperson, because eventually you are some sort of a salesperson in a debate, then it is better to not talk about glass completely half empty, not talk about white and black, but give out the pros and cons creatively in such a way that obviously you give more pros to your side and a few less and lesser cons to the other side. After all, when you go to buy something in the shop, you like a salesperson who tells you both sides of the story and yet convinces you to his side. And I think that issue was also tried out by Vanshu, and I was happy to see that. I'm just going to give a couple of pieces of advice. First of all, I must begin by saying that there is zero reason for Kendriya Vidyalaya to feel low or bad about this, because the debate was far closer than the scores indicated. Before Saheli ran away with the whole debate like a T20 match, otherwise the scores would have been far closer. The two pieces of advice I have is, one, when you are standing on any stage in life, whether as a debater, as a teacher, as an actor, as a politician, you've got to focus on the audience first and foremost. If the audience cannot make sense of what you're saying, or if the audience is not excited about what you're saying, then the game is not going to be won. My technique, whenever I've taught in the army, was that I looked at all the students and I said, let me pitch it at a level where, barring the bottom 10%, everybody will understand me perfectly. So you can use your own little formula. Focus on the audience and focus on your content far more than you focus on your style. Of course, style is important in a debate like this. And I would say, smile a lot. Saheli, you may have got a few marks for that too. All right. Secondly, go on improving your communication skills. It's a lifelong journey. Let me tell you a small secret. When I appeared for my interview to join the army, I was 16 years old and I had never, ever spoken one complete sentence in English. I came from a vernacular school. Hopefully you can't make that out today, because in a life journey, I focused a great deal on reading, and you'll be surprised how much your communication skill improves when you read a lot. Watching the video that Notebook had put up, it also struck me that if you were to look at such digital content while you were doing your own studies, that itself will improve your communication skills. So that's an advice I wanted to give to everyone. Finally, I have to answer Saheli's question about soldiers liking football more or gaming more, since I'm the only soldier in town. Saheli, my vote was going to be for football. But before you feel too happy, my son's vote would go for gaming. So you can pick, there is argument on both sides. Very, very well done. Very impressed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. As always, a privilege having you with us. Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this debate. Winner for match 6 of Pool D East-West Model School, Burdwan, congratulations to the team. I'm sure you have some celebrating to catch up on. Just ensure there is enough social distancing norms being maintained. Kendriya Vidyalaya, nothing to lose heart. I'm sure you'll bounce back stronger in future debates. It's been great having all of you with us today. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.